Hello everyone, and welcome back to Cozy Manifestation. Today we are diving deep into something that affects all of us. How to stay positive when life throws challenges our way. And more importantly, how to break free from the cycle of negative thoughts and anxiety. I want to start with something personal. Recently, I have noticed that I'm more stable in my life, and it's not by accident. I made a conscious decision to feel more positive, take better care of myself, and be kinder to myself. If I'm always going to feel bad anyway, why not try a different method? Why not choose to be more positive? So today we are going to explore 3 key areas: understanding why we have negative thoughts, practical techniques to interrupt the negative cycle, and how to build positive habits that become your foundation for long-term well-being. Grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's talk about transforming your relationship with your own mind. So, Chapter 1: Understanding the roots of negative thoughts. Let's start with a big question. Why do we feel negative? And why do we have those bad feelings that seem to come out of nowhere? The truth is, these feelings usually have roots. Maybe we had bad moments in the past. We were mistreated, hurt, felt miserable, or experienced situations that left emotional scars. But here is what I want you to remember. We are not in that moment anymore. If you have moved away from people or situations, that's something to celebrate. You are no longer with people who couldn't let you be yourself. You know that doesn't work for you, and you know what you do need. So, here is what happens when we don't address negative thoughts. We start collecting them. Every day, we add more negative experiences to our mental stack. Over time, this becomes a pattern, who we think we are. But what if I told you that this pattern isn't permanent? What if our life feels broken because we are constantly forcing ourselves to satisfy others instead of honoring what we truly want? The first thing we need to do is to identify these negative thoughts. And I want to be clear, identification doesn't mean we need to trace everything back to childhood or spend years in analysis. Identification is about being self-aware in a moment. When you notice the bad feeling, just notice it. Ask what triggered this feeling. What exactly am I thinking? Identify without judging yourself. Be neutral. Say, okay, I noticed this, and then move to the next step. Chapter 2: The Energy Principle and Interrupting Negative Cycles. Now that we have identified our negative thoughts, let's talk about what to do with them. But first, I want to share something that's completely changed my perspective. The phrase is, everything is energy. When we fall into the trap of following negative thoughts, we are consuming our energy to keep feeling bad. Think about that for a moment. We are literally using our precious life energy to make ourselves feel worse. But we need that energy for better things, to make our life better, to do things we love, be with people we care about. So why waste it on negativity? Here is a practical technique that works for me. When I'm hit with negative feelings, I immediately think of 3 positive things about the current situation This isn't about toxic positivity or pretending everything is fine. It's about training your brain to see the complete picture, not just the negative parts. Our goal isn't to feel happy all the time. That's unrealistic. Our goal is to stay calm, to accept our situation and our current version of ourselves while working toward growth. When negative thoughts are overwhelming, here's what you can do. 1. Pick just one thought. Don't try to tackle them all at once. 2. Pause. Stop what you are doing. And 3. Breathe intentionally. I prefer the following steps. Inhale deeply for 4 seconds. Hold the breath for 2 to 4 seconds. And then inhale for 4 seconds. Repeat this circle 5 times. This simple technique helps reset your nervous system and creates space between you and your thoughts. But sometimes we need more than breathing. Sometimes we need to move our energy. Walking, running, or any dynamic activity becomes crucial. I recommend at least 1 hour of movement. And here's why. The first 30 minutes are usually about calming your brain down. Your mind might still be racing with thoughts, but your body is starting to shift the energy. Here we are, Chapter 3, the flow state and building sustainable habits. Let me share something fascinating that happens when I run for 1 hour. For the first 40 minutes, I'm focused on running, but my brain is chattering away with random thoughts. Then something magical happens. After 40 minutes, I enter what I call the flow. For those final 20 minutes, there are no random thoughts popping up in my brain. I'm fully concentrated, fully present, just focusing on the movement. And you know what? Those moments, the flow state during exercise, and the first 10 minutes after I finish, those are when I truly feel relaxed and at peace. Everything worthwhile is a process. Even with running, I love the first 10 minutes and last 20 minutes. The middle part is just a process. But when you are motivated, you push through the uncomfortable middle parts. When something becomes a daily routine, you don't need to consume as much mental energy as you did. It becomes automatic and gives you a long-term benefit. This process makes me a more confident person because I know this thing helps me. I know I'm becoming better over time. Not because I have to make the decision every day, but because I already made the decision to do it consistently. If you want to create a new positive habit, start incredibly small. Let me share a personal example. Last year, I couldn't run for a full hour. I usually ran for 30 to 40 minutes, but I wanted to go longer. I failed so many times, trying to jump to an hour that I became exhausted and discouraged. Then a friend suggested, why don't you just try running 5 more minutes at first? That's what worked, starting with just 5 extra minutes and gradually building up. It's like playing a game where you unlock achievements, and there is such a pleasure in realizing you can do something and that you have been doing it longer than you thought possible. Now we are in Chapter 4, Self-Care, Rewards, and Loving Yourself First. This brings me to something crucial that often gets overlooked. The importance of rewarding yourself and loving yourself first. When you achieve something, when you stick to your positive habits, you need to encourage yourself. Celebrate those wins. Acknowledge your progress. I believe this deeply. You need to love yourself first. How can you truly know how to love others? Can someone truly love another person if they are always sacrificing themselves, but don't know how to enjoy their own life if they don't really love themselves? So self-care isn't just bubble baths or face masks, though those are nice too. For example, real self-care includes something simple like cooking for yourself. This is relaxing and good for mental health. Eating healthy food, vegetables, fruits, non-processed foods. Learning new recipes. There are amazing healthy recipes online. Creating routines that support your well-being. I tend to eat many vegetables for my dinner, and I have found that cooking has become a form of meditation, showing love and care for body and mind. So this connects back to something I mentioned earlier. Listening to motivational videos, podcasts, music, or doing meditation are so important because they remind us of our goals. The more familiar we become with positive messages, the more we think positively. The more we think positively, the more likely we are to become who we want to be. Once we fully feel like we are becoming who we want to be, transformation becomes much more likely to come true. So let's recap what we have covered today. The 4 pillars of staying positive. 1. Identify without judgment. Notice the negative thoughts as they arise, and don't judge yourself for having them. 2. Interrupt the cycle. Use breathing techniques. And the 3 positive things method to shift your energy. 3. Move your body. Use physical activity to reset your mental state. 4. Love yourself first. Create positive habits. Reward your progress. Treat yourself with the same kindness you would show a good friend. Remember, this is a process. You are not going to transform overnight, and that's perfectly okay. What matters is that you are making a conscious decision to try a different approach. This week, I challenge you to take actions. Notice one negative thought pattern without judging it. Try the breathing technique when you feel overwhelmed. Add just 5 minutes of physical activity. Reward yourself for one small positive action. And moreover, I would love to hear about your experiences with these techniques. What works for you? What challenges are you facing? Leave comments down below. If something bad happens, if something isn't satisfying, tell yourself it's okay. We learn from trial and error, break the negative cycle, create positive change. You deserve to feel good about yourself and your life. Until next time, be kind to yourself. You are doing better than you think.